The first year of your baby's life is a once-in-a-lifetime period of psychophysical growth. In just 1 year, your baby goes from barely supporting his or her little head to walking independently. A developmental journey I call from zero to hero, meaning from 0 days to little walking hero. In just 12 months, your baby should reach so many key developmental milestones, and every parent has the opportunity to help their baby develop to the fullest. In this video, I show you what the main psychomotor developmental milestones are for your baby from about 0 to 2 months of age, and how to start right away with tummy time to encourage your baby's early motor development from birth. I will also bring you back the red flags, which are those little red flags reported by some of the most famous American pediatric associations that may hint at a delay in your baby's development at this period. Before we get into the topic, into the heart of the matter, let me introduce myself. My name is Dr-Silva. I am a neonatal osteopath and founder of Iule, a maternal infant center in the province of Monza Brianza, in which I collaborate closely with all the main health figures in the field, such as pediatricians and midwives, visiting only newborns from their first days of life. I can be found online in this YouTube channel, to which I recommend you subscribe now to stay updated on all new videos. On Instagram under the name osteopath_Silva Matteo, and especially on my website matteosilvaosteopata.com, where you will find hundreds of contents and video courses to foster the best psychomotor development of your baby. From birth to independent Camino, created by myself, pediatrician, speech therapist, neuropsychologist, and many other professionals in the field. Among them, you will find the video course From Zero to Hero, and I leave the link in the description. Now, let's cut to the chase and see what progress is made in your baby's psychomotor development from 0 to 2 months. But before we do that, let's explain what is meant by psychomotor development. The term psychomotor development denotes an overall growth process of the child that takes into account both physical motor development but also cognitive, social, emotional, language and communication development. To facilitate the parent's task of observation, we will divide psychomotor development into several sections, which include motor and postural development, social emotional development, language and communication development, and cognitive development. This also explains why on my site you will find video courses to foster the best psychomotor development of your child, created in close collaboration by me, the pediatrician, speech therapist, neuropsychologist, and many other complementary professionals. I will talk to you about motor and postural development and how to successfully reach all the major motor milestones. My other colleagues will show you how to foster language development, cognitive development, social relational development, and so much more. Please note, the first months are an extremely sensitive period during which your baby's well-being is imperative to initiate one development to another at an optimal 360 degrees. Your baby must not suffer from gastrointestinal disorders such as colic, constipation, dyschezia, reflux, and regurgitation. Otherwise, psychomotor activities will be lower, the child's attentional quality worse, and the possibility of relationship with the parent negatively affected. Also on the site, you will find a video course on prevention and treatment of all these gastrointestinal disorders, as on the prevention and treatment of flathead and positional plagiocephaly. Let's talk now about physical and motor development from 0 to 2 months. In the first 2 months of life, the physical development is incredible. Your baby grows so much. For example, his little head grows more than 2 centimeters in circumference per month. And to give you an idea of comparison, at 11 months, he grows only 2 or 3 millimeters. Pay attention, however, because your baby's little head grows very quickly, but is extremely moldable in the first few months, and due to incorrect postures, can create flat head or positional plagiocephaly. In description, I leave you a link to a YouTube video where I talk about it on how to prevent or treat it effectively. In any case, your baby is growing very rapidly, also from a physical and postural point of view. For example, his spine, which had been curled up for 9 months in mom's belly, stretches out and begins to take different curves. The neck is no longer flexed and compacted. but is free and learning increasingly coordinated movements. Let's now get into the specifics of the motor skills your baby will acquire from 0 to 2 months of age. From supine, your baby begins to stretch and move his legs. Still from supine, your baby opens and closes his hands, and if we let him feel maybe a toy, he might grab it even if still unconsciously, especially in the first month of life. When he grasps toys, he shakes them in a haphazard way. The baby has myopic black and white vision, sees little, and can focus at most 20 to 30 centimeters away, which is the distance between him and his mother when nursed or picked up. Also, thanks to thumb me time on the chest, your baby starts to hold his head for a few tens of seconds. Let me explain further. By offering thumb me time on the pacing table as well, your baby learns to position his arms correctly to help support his little head. Especially in the second month of life, gradually the baby slightly improves the previously uncoordinated movements of the arms, and they become a little bit more fluid and controlled. Not yet fully coordinated, but better than at birth. In this case, I am talking mainly about the supine position. In prone position, he still struggles to extend his arms. In fact, he still does not do it to catch a game. Before concluding the chapter on motor development, I want to remind you that these months are crucial to begin immediately. A fantastic path of motor and postural development. Many children, because of a lack of motor stimulation or because of correct postures unknowingly practiced by their parents, miss important motor milestones in the first year, such as crawling and will walk perhaps late, and with difficulty. Every parent has the opportunity to ensure their baby's perfect motor and postural development from birth to independent walking with the correct activities. That is why in the video course From Zero to Hero, I show you practically with hundreds of video explanatory how to help your baby reach month by month all the major developmental milestones. I'll leave you the link in the description here as well. Now let's talk about language development and communication, but also the development of social and emotional skills. Before I list what skills your baby develops during this period, however, I want to anticipate that a key aspect to consider when thinking about the first few months of life is that all communication forms are almost entirely unintentional, indeed reflexive, we might say in some cases. This is the magic of language development, but also of communication and social and emotional skills. The child does not yet know that he can communicate, that he can interact with other people, until his mom or dad, responding to his vocalizations, cries and needs, begins to make sense of his relational life. Amazing, isn't it? The video lectures by my leucopedist colleague and neuropsychologist aim precisely at explaining to parents practical games and activities to promote the best development of the child's language, communication and social relational development from birth to the first years of life. Let's now see what skills your baby develops concerning language and communication, but also social and emotional skills. Your baby makes its first sounds and gurgles, mostly in response to interaction with the parent, but also to express hunger, tummy aches, sleep, and so on. See. Gradually, the infant learns to turn his head, albeit still in an uncoordinated manner, toward the sounds and voice of the person speaking to him. Around the second month, the baby begins to make its first smiles in response to dialogue with mother and dad. The baby tries to look into mom and dad's faces, trying to bring into focus their face. The baby tries to learn and self-calm, perhaps bringing his hands to his mouth a few times when he is hungry, and he learns the first dialogic interactions with his parents to gurgling sounds and small vocalizations. Let us now turn to talk about the cognitive development of the baby from 0 to 2 months. Here is what you might observe in the cognitive development of the 0 to 2-month-old baby, keeping in mind that all these psychomotor developmental skills are inextricably intertwined. Although his vision is still myopic, I mean your baby's, and therefore sees in black and white from 20 to 30 centimeters away, your baby more or less manages to focus a little bit, and thanks also to his scent. He recognizes mom's face, but also dad's. You have already seen this in the video, where I show you what the newborn sees month after month and how his vision improves from birth until the year of life. Also, from 0 to 2 months, your baby starts to follow objects a little bit with his eyes and his head, a movement that is not yet completely smooth but gets better month by month from birth until the 2nd month, where the birth was just messy. Also, from 0 to 2 months, your baby learns to show boredom if an activity perhaps he does not like or if he is tired. Note, at this time, it is important to distinguish boredom and tiredness from the infant's gastrointestinal disorders, so schezia, constipation, colic, and reflux, problems that are extremely common, unfortunately. Small spoiler, colic and reflux are caused by an inflammatory and irritative framework of the gastrointestinal system that creates pain for the baby. So don't think they are physiological and don't resign yourself if your baby suffers from them. They can be easily resolved. Now let me tell you about the red flags in your baby's development. All the skills mentioned and the related red flags, that is, the alarm bells of inadequate development, are taken from authoritative sources such as the US Center of Disease Control and Prevention, then the CDC, which stands for Center for Disease Control and Prevention, or even from the American Academy of Pediatrics. These international associations recommend contacting the doctor if the child does not respond to stimuli. Sound does not follow moving objects, even though we hold them in front of him. If the child does not gradually learn to smile, if the child never brings his hands to his mouth, or if he does not support his head at all when placed in a prone position. Regarding this very difference between normal and pathological psychomotor development, on my website you will find a video comparing a child with normal versus pathological psychomotor development. It is a free YouTube video, and you can also find it here in the link in the description. With these words, we have come to the end of this informative video. It has been a pleasure to create this informative content for you, and I sincerely hope it can be of great help for your beautiful baby. If you liked the video, I kindly ask you to leave a like. It costs you nothing, but it is really worth a lot to me. And subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'll see you in the next video on my Instagram page, osteopath-Lo-Silva Matteo, and especially on my website, matteosilvaosteopata.com, where you can find dozens of insights and video courses recorded by me, pediatrician, speech therapist, neuropsychologist, midwife, sleep consultant, perinatal psychologist, and so many other professionals who show you how to foster your baby's best development from pregnancy through the first year of life. See you soon.